TYT of sports, everyone. It's the Jay-Z experience. Don't act like you didn't know this was gonna come back.
The takeover.
Come on, man.
It's back.
I think it might be one of the last official days of the takeover.
I think so.
But in reality, this is gonna start something else. Like I believe maybe 2 times a week, all the normal face is gonna get bumped aside. You know?
Yeah, they have to. Yeah.
There's some kind
just
of
look at the support. You know.
What is it? A British accent guy? What's his name? I forget.
Oh, that Francis guy.
I don't know, man.
And like the guy from the East Coast.
That guy. Come on. What's he like? The Knicks?
Yeah, jeez.
Anyway, it's if you don't know already, the Jay-Z experience. It's JR. It's Zach. We're here. We're gonna take in all the fun things that are happening in sports as usual. If you guys didn't check out the previous clips, I think we've been on fire this week.
Oh yeah. A lot of good stuff for a slow sports week.
Yeah.
I feel like we've been crushing it.
I haven't been able to read the hate comments on it yet, and I won't.
Not a lot.
Just the usual amount.
Just the usual, yeah. A couple here and there.
But let's start. Get right into the Women's US Open. That is golf, by the way.
Yes.
Because I mean, when you hear US Open, it can be many things, right?
Yes, the Women's US Open.
The Women's US Open is going to be held at Donald Trump's golf club in Jersey, am I right?
Yep, Trump National Course.
Trump National Course in Jersey, which is where it usually is held. Follow the women's golf.
I want to say it rotates every so often.
Yeah,
but that's definitely
this
a very
year's going. I was
one.
listening to something yesterday about it, and they were the call for potentially moving it was being floated a little bit because of obviously in a situation where it highlights a president's golf club.
Yeah,
and also it's a business dealing, right? But apparently there's some kind of secret agreement, and this is what the Women's PGA was talking about. They have an agreement with him, and they can't talk about what the agreement is. Therefore, they can't talk about why they can't move it, but they can't do anything about it. And I was like, man, it's not a secret.
It's like a code of secrecy.
They're like, due to the agreement says we can't talk about what's in the agreement, so therefore we're not going to talk about what's in the agreement. That's not what we're talking about here. The question has also popped up because of the participants in this particular tournament, which is basically the championship for the women's side, whether or not they really want him there, because he's going to show up at this one.
It's his course, yeah.
It's his course, he's going to show up. And he doesn't always come to every tournament, I'm sure, but he's going to come to this, and this is the championship.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is kind of harkens on a little bit. I believe it was 2 days ago we had a discussion about Trump showing up to Mayweather.
The Mayweather-McGregor fight, yeah, definitely.
Should he show up at this one?
Is it like, so I know a lot of the golfers probably don't feel very strongly towards Donald Trump. It makes a lot of sense. It's his course, but it comes down to whether or not, like you said, he's actually going to take away from the tournament. If he's just going to go and be professional, and it's his course, and maybe be at the trophy celebration or whatever he has to do to maintain it, then by all means he should go. But if he's going to come and kind of make like a whole big deal about it, how he's like trying, it's just don't let the game be taken away from it, because these women they've looked forward to this event all year, and I'm sure a lot of them prefer for him not to be there, maybe not even to play on his course. But the fact that it is his course, like you got to respect that. Like, it's the president of the United States now.
I feel like I'm the only person who's never visited a golf course during a tournament. Have you ever done this?
I've been
seen it. It doesn't have to be a major one, but have you been to a tournament where, because you know, obviously there's crowds there, and there's rules behind what they have to do and
definitely,
what they can't do.
They're super strict with, like, you can't take pictures when the golfers are up. Like, they're super strict with everything.
So I wonder, with this level of rules and how it usually goes, what changes could really happen if his presence is really there?
Yeah.
I mean, is he gonna be standing there going, no? You know,
get in the hole.
I'll tell you one change that comes at least. Are we honestly doing this story without him attending? Do we talk about the LPGA tour at all?
That's true. Yeah.
You know, it has already changed the conversation surrounding the tournament.
And I guess that's one of the questions is he gonna take over? Because I think one of the concerns someone had was that, is he gonna be a story that is there, or gonna be the story, and therefore the women golfers who are there no longer even get any attention, which, I don't know, Jacory doesn't like women's golf, so.
It's not the golf I don't like, it's just women in general.
So they did ask a few of the participants in the tournament. Michelle Wee, former #1. And so she was also talking about it. Is this the quote we do have?
Yeah, we do have
where she says, you know, I take my role as a female role model very seriously. And this week is about the golf. This is our national championship and one of my favorite weeks of the year. I really want to focus on the golf part and hopefully inspire a lot of young women and women in general, hopefully, with my game and not with maybe any, you know, I'm assuming she's saying not any disputes with the
Like
president,
a stance.
or anger against him, or even support from who knows where she stands politically, and it's probably best that she keeps that to herself.
Yeah.
So I agree. Why not? Let it happen.
I agree.
And you know who's going to be able to stop him from doing it? Again, is it another problem with presence of Secret Service and all the things that come with him being
because
protected?
Again, I don't think the women's U.S. Open is necessarily going to have a huge, like a massive crowd where it's going to be a problem. But if he becomes the story,
maybe more crowd will come.
shows up, then maybe more crowd will come.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, the main thing is here is which did come to mind. You don't want to throw the athlete's game off. And honestly, it's one of those. I hate being this guy, but as somewhat to what Jacory mentioned, there's. The story's bigger because we're talking about it.
Exactly.
So when journalists come and start asking all the athletes questions like, is he gonna throw you off? Is he gonna throw you off while you're about to play this tournament? They're like, well, he wasn't until you start getting in my face and asked me to answer about it. Now I'm thinking about it, I guess. Jesus, if I'm, if I'm putting, you're gonna go, what about Trump?
No, I understand. I mean, it comes down also to like the, just people's stance with Trump in general, especially pro athletes. I feel like it's gonna be more and more prevalent as we go on because like the New England Patriots, when they got invited to the White House to see President Trump, that's kind of something that all the presidents have done for pro sports champions, and like a bunch of them didn't show up, including Tom Brady.
Yeah, and that was the story.
And that was the story about it. And then the same thing with the Warriors, they didn't even wait to get an invite. They just said, we're not going. We already made it unanimous as a team. So it's gonna make headlines, and I think that's kind of what a lot of the golfers and a couple of sports analysts have said, like, just make it about the game.
Yeah.
It is his course, but make it about the game.
It'll be fine.
And I mean, morals aside, it's almost impossible for it not to affect the entirety of the weekend. We had just a presidential candidate come through Rebel headquarters, and the screening that we went through, and the disruption to our workflow, and the pauses, and the building searches that had to go down.
Oh yeah.
Tremendously affected our focus and tore up our entire process of working. It's impossible.
And they're probably not used to that, like we just said.
Yeah.
Right? They're not used to that much media attention and like all these reporters asking for quotes and everything. They're probably super overwhelmed. So
I mean, as this last thing, I think as we mentioned with Aaron Judge the other day, the best approach when asked all these questions is, I'm just here to play, and just like do the approach of being just
he can come if he
below
wants.
the radar
course, but
and just
here
chill out. You don't need any opinions about that stuff because it's just gonna make another story about you.
Exactly.
And as Michelle we said, it's about her game.
Exactly. Let the game do the talking.
Like, subscribe, comment. Should Trump go to this one? I don't know what you guys what the opinion was on Trump going to the boxing match. Should he go to this event?
Hey, he goes to the golf course enough already. So
he's comfortable
why not?
there. Let us know what you think. It's the Jay-Z Experience.